We've made it to the regional semifinals here in the 2023 OHSAA football playoffs. The Comets dominated the Lebanon Warriors in round one and knocked off the number one seeded Milford Eagles last week, but tonight could be their toughest test yet against the Cincinnati powerhouse Moeller Crusaders. Welcome to Princeton High School for this exciting Region 4 matchup. My name is Adam Little, joined by my partner for this broadcast, my brother, Andrew Little. And Andrew, it really feels like deja vu here in the regional semifinals. Yeah, and it's revenge time for the Comets. Last year, their season ended against Moeller in the regional semifinals, a 24-16 loss. And the Comets, they're looking to avenge that loss and advance to the regional finals for the first time in school history. Yeah, they definitely have revenge on their mind. Last week, a historic game for the Comets, and you can just tell the vibe in Comet Country has just been different this week after that exciting 10-9 victory, knocking off the number one seeded Milford Eagles. And it was the blocked punt turned into a touchdown that really just carried the momentum throughout the entire game. And Andrew, tonight, the Comets want to take down this powerhouse. I think it's going to be one of those weird touchdowns that helps propel them. Absolutely. Last week it was that special teams touchdown that made the difference. That's OHSAA's the Comets offense. They've struggled as of late, and they're going up against a top defense here at Moeller, so they're going to need to pull some magic as well. But when you knock off the number one team in the region, all bets are off. The Comets are hot, and I know they're feeling good coming in today as underdogs, and that they want to embrace that. Yeah, this should be a super exciting game, and one of our big keys is if it's a boring game tonight, I've got a feeling that Coach Kastner and this entire Comet team, they're going to be happy. They're just going to keep it close, let the defense prevail, and offense just execute. Yeah, and the Comets haven't been one of these teams that's going to score 30, 40 points on you. That's just not their identity. What is their identity? Play great defense, control the ball. The run game's really gotten going the past few weeks. Tammy Adesanya's coming off his best games. So the Comets, they want to keep it close and win and lead by their defense. Yeah, another one of these big things, and they've definitely improved that. Last week, it's just no turnovers, and turnovers have been an issue throughout this second stretch of the season. Last week limited that and came out on top, and they're going to have to do just that, but they're going to be playing against a tough defense tonight. Moeller, they've allowed 26 turnovers all season long. Yeah, and you say no turnovers is the key to the game. That's pretty difficult to do for any team. It's going to be a little bit easier this week for the Comets than as maybe they would have thought a week ago. Drew Robinson, Moeller's star safety, has 6 interceptions on the year. He's out for this game, so that's a big loss in the secondary. Going to help the Comets air things out a little bit more, but still a fantastic defense with the Crusaders, and the Comets need to keep the ball in control. Yeah, and talking more about that Moeller secondary, you can't forget the safety Carson Hobbs, committed to Notre Dame. Just flies around the field. Yeah, Hobbs, one of the top cornerbacks in the entire country, a 3-star recruit headed to Notre Dame next fall, and man, like you said, he's got a lot of speed, a part of that Moeller excellent relay track team from last spring, and teams just really don't throw at him for good reason, but the Comets going to have to attack that secondary if they want to put some points on the board. And again, you'll probably notice something a little bit different about tonight's broadcast, but we are unfortunately radio only due to OHSAA streaming regulations, so we are a little bummed out about that, but really we're just pumped to bring you coverage and this amazing run that the Comets have been on. So we're just glad to be here providing you some radio coverage. We've got a scoreboard and the time up there to hopefully compensate that a little bit. But we are about a minute and a half away from kickoff, game being televised through a local TV station, so we're going to have some TV timeouts throughout the game. Game kickoff isn't until 7:07, unlike the normal 7 o'clock. So a few adjustments that both teams are going to have to play into. Yeah, normally it would have been out on the field, started up about 5 minutes ago. Instead, some more time to amp these teams up on the sideline. I'm sure Coach Kastner gave a rousing speech in the locker room. It always means a lot when you play a team like Moeller. These two teams rivals coming off have the history with that close loss last year in this exact round. So there's going to be a lot of energy, a lot of emotion played from both sides. And we mentioned earlier how the Comets got here. Last week it was that 10-9 victory over the Milford Eagles, but for Moeller, took down their rivals St. X last week. And that was a huge win, 10-7 again, very low-scoring game, and something that I think both of us are anticipating tonight, another low-scoring game, but Moeller had to take down St. X twice this year. And that's definitely not an easy task.
Yeah, and Moeller 6-4. That may seem a little bit lower for them compared to some of their usual results, but they've been hot as of late. 2 wins over St. X, only 1 loss against Ohio teams this year, and that is against the top team in the state, St. Edwards. So they've been playing hot. They think they're the best team in Ohio, and they're looking to prove it tonight with a decisive win. When you're a team like Moeller, the expectation isn't to get here; it's to get farther. And they've made the regional semis 3 straight years now. Made it to the regional finals last year. Had their season cut short in the playoff semifinals. So, a lot to play for.
And a nice showing here from the Comet student section. It's a ski theme, and like we mentioned earlier, the vibe just in Comet Country has been different this week. And I feel like when the football team's having a successful season, the school vibe is different, and Black Horse definitely showing it tonight as the Comets trotting onto the field as Max Gogol is looking to boot it away to start off the regional semifinals. The Comets won the toss, elected to defer to the second half. And back to receive for the Crusaders. Carson Ko and Preston Smith, and Gogol has officially booted away. This one going to be fielded in the end zone. And it was actually dropped in the end zone by KO, and Comets defense going to trot onto the field. This stellar defense going to be exciting to watch.
Yeah, and I like the Comets won the toss, and I like the decision to defer to the second half. Your defense and special teams won you the game last week, so trot them out on the field, start this game off, and make Moeller take control on offense. Your defense is playing lights out, 2 shutouts in weeks 10 and 11, and then 1 touchdown last week against the top-seeded Milford Eagles.
Big name on this Moeller offense is Jordan Marshall, and he's lined up to the right of Ponatowski. 1 receiver on each side for Moeller. Is this one going to be a quick out route? And he finds his man, Robin Mason. Robin Mason actually went to grade school in Mason, but now a receiver on this Crusaders team. And he picks up 7 yards on the first catch of the game.
Yeah, and Mason, one of the 3 lead receivers for this Crusaders offense, along with Javon Love and Preston Smith.
What you're going to say, he got 8 yards as Marshall in motion now. This one going to be a quick handoff up the middle, but stuffed by the Comets defensive line. That time it was Lincoln Murphy trying to take the carry.
And the Comet defense playing with a lot of energy and momentum after last week and got a huge stuff.
And Moeller hurrying up to the line on 3rd and 1. This one going to be a quick toss to Marshall as he's charging upfield. And he's near the first down marker. We'll see where they officially spot him, and I think that it's going to be enough for the first down. Marshall showing off his power.
Yeah, and the Comets, they got to Marshall pretty quickly, but that's an example of Jordan Marshall's burst. He got quickly off the line, was able to get 2 yards right away, and by the time the Comets got to him, he already had the first down.
Moeller, fast pace here to start things off as they pick up their first down. Marshall trots off the field, and it's going to be Isaac Shade checking in the game at running back. 2 receivers on the left. Mason in motion. This one, fake jet handoff. Ponatowski's rolling to his left and connects with his running back, Isaac Shade, 4 or 5 yards.
And a pre-snap motion with Bowling Green commit tight end Eli Jakin Duffy had the Comets defense moving. Kyle Wilson able to identify the play and gets a shoestring tackle to stop what could have been a big gain.
6-yard pickup officially from Shade as Moeller hurrying back to the line. 2 receivers on the right, ball placed on the left hash. They're going from left to right. And Ponatowski, he's all alone in the backfield. He takes the shotgun snap, quick screen pass on the outside to Marshall, and Marshall's got some room, and it looks like he's going to take this one to the house. Touchdown, Moeller, as he picks up 63 yards on the screen pass.
And Marshall's had big plays every game this year, and gets one there to open it up. A tough break for the Comet offense. That screen pass, Mason just really wasn't lined up to defend it. Marshall went untouched, only had to get past 1 defender. And once he broke free at midfield, he was gone.
Moeller quickly on the board, and that was one of our keys for them, is to get ahead early. And they did just that. And it looks like Moeller's going to leave their offense on the field for a 2-point conversion attempt.
Interesting decision here from the Crusaders.
So it's trips to the right, one receiver on the left. Marshall is the back. Duffy in motion. This one going to be a jet handoff to him, but he tosses it to Marshall in a trick play as Marshall tosses it and finds his man, Roman Mason, for the 2-point conversion. So Moeller, a little bit of trickery here to start the game as they're trying to get ahead early.
Yeah, it's the playoffs. You got to pull out all the bells and whistles, and right there, a really tricky play. Did a handoff, then a sweep to Jordan Marshall, and then once again, a throw to Roman Mason, pretty open in the end zone, and that's Marshall's second pass attempt of the year. His first one was a 40-yard touchdown earlier in this season, so I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit surprised that Moeller's going to use that trick play this early in the game. You want to think, hey, you save that for later, maybe if this thing's close. If you need a big 2-point conversion, or now, if you do move on, and this is thinking way ahead, that play, teams can game plan for it now. So interesting decision to use it so early, but certainly has the momentum all in Moeller's favor right now.
Yeah, and in practice, you're only practicing one or two of those trick plays, those 2-point plays. So again, interesting decision to see early, but it pays off. The Crusaders take the 8-point lead to start things off. Less than 2 minutes into the game. As Devin Orr, the senior kicker, will look to boot it away for the Crusaders. It's Brandon Dunn and Chase Blevins back to receive at the 5 for the Comets. This one hit towards Dunn, receives it at the 4, up past the 20 to the 22-yard line, and wrapped up by a plethora of Moeller defenders. It's Comets start things off at the 22.
Now the pressure goes on the Comet offense. Your defense just got punched in the mouth. 60-yard play from Marshall, the Michigan commit. So now it's on Quinn Brown in this offense. And last week they had no touchdowns. They did set up a field goal drive, but offense really struggled against Milford. Need to get things going again. You're a little bit healthier in the receiver room. I'm going to need some big plays from them.
2 receivers on the left, 1 on the right for the Comets. Adesanya is the back to the left of Brown. He's in the shotgun. Takes this snap, rolling to the left. Feeling some heat from the Moeller defenders and throws this one out of bounds. Dunn was the intended receiver.
And sophomore linebacker Connor Cuezo hit Brown a little bit late, and he is down on the field holding his knee. Comets going to head to the huddle at the sideline.
Yeah, Cuezo, just a young player on this Moeller defense, so tough to see him go down on his first play of the game, as that's going to give both teams a quick breath of fresh air. 10:07 left in the first quarter.
And Cuozo has 59 tackles on the season, including 8 for a loss. He was a second-team GCL player.
And he's able to be helped off the field, but definitely looks like he's in a lot of pain.
And the 3 linebackers are the heart and soul of this Moeller defense. So this might shift up their scheme a little bit.
Adesanya to the left of Brown. The Comets are going from right to left. Billhorn in motion. This one's going to be a jet toss to him. As he makes it past the 25 up to the 26. A late flag thrown after the 5-yard pickup from Billhorn.
You're going to have to assume this one's going to be a holding call. A long developing play. And just tough to hold the blocks for that long. Billhorn had some space, but the Comets going to be backed way up here and repeat second down.
Yeah, the Comets had a nice play drawn out there. Billhorn picked up a nice 5 yards on second down. That would have set up a third and manageable. This going to set them back all the way to the 11.
Penalties are killer, and the Comets struggled with those last week as well.
So Brown has Billhorn in motion yet again. This time it's going to be a handoff to Chase Blevins, and Blevins lunges forward for a 4-yard pickup on second down. third and long.
That's a decent run there from Blevins, picking up about 4 or 5 yards, but on 2nd and 20, frankly, you just need a little bit more. This is going to make it a very difficult third down. And when the Comets have really struggled on these obvious passing plays, their play-action game has been a strong suit this year. About when teams are able to send 5 defensive backs out there expecting the deep ball, they've struggled.
Trips to the left. One receiver on the right for Mason, Adesanya. Or Blevins is the back as Brown feeling some pressure, and that one picked off. He was trying to find his tight end, Von Johnson, and overthrew him. Michael Rice, the junior, pulls it in. And Andrew, Brown had Von Johnson wide open. That one just overthrown, excuse me.
And Brown took a big hit from the second level on that throw. And that contributed. Micah Rice in the exact position to get that ball. He's been offered by Kentucky and Western Michigan, a track star as well. So he's a talented player in the secondary. And Adam, we talked about these keys to the game. It's gone all wrong for the Comets so far. We said avoid turnovers and avoid the big plays from Jordan Marshall. We had a 60-yard touchdown in the screen game, and then there Quinn Brown just threw an interception that's giving the Crusaders great field position.
Moeller starting at the Comets 24 now. It's Ponatowski. Empty, takes it. That pass knocked away from Kyle Wilson. He was trying to find his man, Preston Smith.
Yeah, and Wilson nearly intercepted that ball, jumping the route perfectly, able to recoup a little bit of momentum for Mason. And it's certainly going to make Ponatowski think twice about throwing it across the middle of the field.
Marshall in the backfield now. Ball on the left hash. 2nd and 10. Smith in motion. This one going to be handoff up the middle. And Marshall is wrapped up after a 3-yard gain at the 21.
And Noah Dowers met Jordan Marshall after about 1 yard of 1 yard gain, but Marshall using his power and keeping his feet going picked up an extra 2, and that's what killed the Comets last year. Is they were doing a good job of getting to Marshall 2-3 yards in the back at the line of scrimmage, but he just gets that late yardage.
3rd and 7. Tight end in motion. Ponatowski rolling to the right. And he finds a wide open Roman Mason at the 5, lunging forward, and Moeller on the board for the 2nd time tonight. Just a quick little wrap to the right, and Roman Mason takes it in for 6.
And the right side of the field was wide open. Ponatowski identifies Mason, able to get him the ball, and he just walks into the end zone. Mason's having a great game so far. Had the first catch of the day, had that 2-point conversion, and then there picks up a touchdown. Now Moeller up 2 scores.
Moeller going for 2 yet again. This time there's a back on each side of Ponatowski. 3 receivers on the left. Tight end will motion out. Quick screen pass to Duffy is wide open, and Moeller converts on their second 2-point conversion, so they take an early 16-0 lead. And we're only 3 minutes and 51 seconds into this game, Andrew.
Yeah, and Moeller used motion right there to identify the Comets' coverage. Nobody in the secondary followed the man in motion, and so Moeller just blocked that play up well, and it was an easy 2-point conversion. And so just uncharacteristic big plays allowed so far for Mason. They've already given up more points in this game than they have in the last 3 combined. And the defense has to play from a hole, and that's something they've not had to do this season.
Yeah, over the past 3 games, Mason only averaging 3 points per game. They had 2 shutouts in week 10 and then first round of the playoffs, and last week allowed 9 against Milford. Moeller coming into this game a little over 7 points per game these past 3 games. Devin Orr back to boot it away again, and timeout called on the field. It's going to be a media timeout. So we're going to take a quick break. Less than 4 minutes into this game, Moeller coming out hot. They're already up 16-0 on the Comets. We'll be back for the rest of the coverage here on Mason Sports Radio. Welcome back to Princeton High School. The Crusaders off to a hot start early. They've already gone on the board twice and have had 2 successful 2-point conversion attempts as Devin Orr will boot it away yet again for the Crusaders. Blevins and Dunn, and they're going to onside kick it. And I believe Moeller's going to fall on top of this. So Moeller pulling out all of the tricks. And they're going to start at their own 49-yard line.
And that's certainly an aggressive move right there. I think Moeller might have touched that ball. Referees are discussing.
Yeah, I think the Moeller kicker, he's the one that recovered it. But it almost looks like he got a finger on it, and that kind of slowed the ball down. Officials coming together.
And that certainly did not look like any normal onside kick. And the comments, you're not expecting it with 8 minutes left in the first quarter.
And they will drop the flag, and that's the right call.
And I think Moeller's getting a little bit aggressive for their own good here. You smack Mason in the mouth with 2 touchdowns, you go for 2 extra points, and then you kick an onside kick. You're sending a message here. And the Comets, they should be very motivated right now. It's very clear what the Crusaders think of them. So Comets going to start with incredible field position here inside Moeller territory.
Yeah, so that ball was touched down at the Moeller 44, and that's exactly where the Comets are going to start. So Mason already in Crusader territory. As Quinn Brown and his offense will trot back onto the field. 8:07 left in this first quarter. Trip set to the right. As Adesanya is the back right behind him. Billhorn in motion. This one, a handoff to Adesanya, making his way at the 40 and hit by multiple Moeller defensive backs after he picked up 4 yards on the carry.
And it was Micah Rice who had that interception on the last offensive drive, who got the tackle there. Forward progress, stops Adesanya after a gain of about 3. And Rice using his speed, coming downhill and making the stop, because Adesanya was getting close to the sideline, had some room.
So they'll give him 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 41. Johnson, the tight end in motion. This one going to be another handoff to Adesanya. He's met immediately at the line of scrimmage. Jewett Hayes was the first one to take him down. Adesanya will pick up 1 yard on the carry, making it 3rd and 6.
Yeah, Adesanya just fell forward on that play. The blocks weren't able to materialize. Virginia commit Jewett Hayes got there right away. Adesanya picks up some positive yardage, and now 3rd and medium in what's probably 4-down territory.
Adesanya to the left of Brown, ball on the left hash. Comets going from right to left. This one, fake toss to Adesanya, and Brown trying to find Billhorn. Can't do so. And he just chucks this one out of bounds.
Quinn Brown.
Lucky they didn't get a hold call there after the amount of time Brown had.
Yeah, and Quinn Brown tried to extend that play as long as he could, but just got too close to the sideline, couldn't find an open man, and the punt team going to head out here. They'll keep an eye on Brown, quarterback and punter. We've seen the Comets run a couple fake punts this season after what Moeller just pulled on the kickoff. Wouldn't be shocked if they do it here.
Brown boots it away, a high punt, fair catch called at the 8 by Preston Smith, and the Moeller offense will trot onto the field for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, and Moeller offense is absolutely rolling. 2 big touchdowns, one from Marshall, one from Mason, but now backed up pretty far into their own territory inside the 10-yard line. Comets defense, last week when Milford offense moved a little bit, but the Comets started to play the field position game and dominated. We'll see if they can pick up that momentum here.
1st and 10 at the 8. Ponitowski looking towards the sideline for the signal. Marshall right behind him. Is this one going to be a handoff on the right side? And Marshall chugging forward for 3 yards on the pickup.
Tackle made by number 33, Bowers. The second down for the Crusaders.
Comet defense shores that play up pretty quickly.
Second down, Marshall to the right of Ponatowski. This one, a fake handoff to him, and Moeller's taking a shot. A fade down the field to E.J. Harris. They're going to say he was out of bounds on the catch, but Harris was able to pull it in. And there's a flag in the backfield.
And Ponatowski got that ball out quickly.
The flag is against the Crusaders, an eligible man downfield.
And an eligible man downfield, and Comets fans probably remember that call fondly from last week. Milford picked up a big 40-yard gain in a similar situation at the end of the game. It was called back because of an ineligible man downfield.
So it'll be second down and 11 for the Crusaders. Ball at the 8 after that ineligible man downfield penalty. Ponatowski will hand this one off to Marshall, and Marshall diving up the middle, breaking free of multiple Comet members in the secondary all the way for a first down. 12 yards on the pickup.
So Marshall gets back all the yardage they lost on the penalty and more, just tough to bring down, showing why he is one of the top running back recruits in the entire country. And he's going to check out of the game, playing on a bit of a snap count today.
Yeah, Marshall, the Michigan commit. We'll touch more on that later on the broadcast, but he's been dealing with a lingering ankle injury these last few weeks, so Moeller is keeping his snaps limited. So 1st and 10, ball at the 21. Ponatowski will hand this one up the middle. And Duffy takes it for 3 yards on the carry.
Moeller offensive line was able to get some push there.
Number 8, Jacon Duffy. Second down for the Crusaders.
This one, a quick screen pass on the outside to E.J. Harris. That was the exact same play they ran on that touchdown this time. The Comets able to contain it to a 6-yard gain, but still that'll be enough for the first down.
Once again, the Comets kind of backing off with their cornerbacks. They weren't ready for that screen pass. Moeller picked up a first down, but if the Comet defense was just a little bit closer up, would have had to stop.
And Moeller moving at a tempo the Comets haven't seen this season, as they've already snapped it again. A quick toss to Harris in motion, and a flag thrown in the backfield after Harris picks up 13 yards on the jet toss, but an obvious call there.
Yeah, and the tight end, Jacon Duffy, was holding Lynn McMains on that play. It was prevented him to get to the edge, seal it, and this play's coming back.
Almost another big play there from the Crusaders, as we've officially passed 5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. So that'll push them back 10 yards to their own 23-yard line, 1st and 20. Moeller now taking their time. Marshall in the backfield. So it's fake handoff to him and a quick screen pass to Javon Love, and Love shakes free of Charlie Raymond and turns it into a 25-yard gain. He had it for about 10 yards and then shook free of multiple Comet members in the secondary.
Yeah, and that's why you play to the whistle. Javon Love just kept his legs moving, and Kyle Wilson was able to pick him up and stop the touchdown.
Moeller in the hurry up. This one, a jet toss to Carson Hobbs, who doesn't normally play on the offensive side of the field, but he's breaking free and turns what should have been about a 3-yard gain into a 11-yard gain for another Moeller first down.
And Hobbs showing off the speed, and that's why he's going to Notre Dame. He's got special abilities when you get him on the perimeter. You don't get to see it very often with him being a cornerback, but they're getting creative with your best athletes.
Moeller already into Mason territory now at the 37. Marshall back in the game. It's play clock winding down at 10 seconds now. Trips to the right for Moeller. Tight end in motion. Ponitowski dropping back and connects with his man, Preston Smith, who shakes free of Preston Esta and dives into the end zone for another Moeller touchdown here in this first quarter.
And once again, a Moeller receiver breaks the first tackle and then has plenty of green grass. The Comets, they're playing soft coverage, trying to limit these big plays, and Moeller's just taking advantage. This time it was
Moeller
Love.
going for two yet again. Again, we're still in this first quarter. 3.5 minutes to go. Two receivers on each side for the Crusaders. Ball on that right hash. Marshall is the back. Moeller spreading things out. Ponitowski throwing a quick back shoulder fade in the end zone, trying to find his tight end, Ricky Thomas, broken up by Charlie Raymond.
Yeah, and Charlie Raymond one-on-one in the end zone there. And had his back to the ball, probably got away with a pass interference. And Raymond had 3 interceptions 2 weeks ago against Lebanon. He's had a strong playoffs, and they're able to prevent this third 2-point conversion.
And like we mentioned earlier, the Comets, they wanted this to be a boring game and let their defense shine. And already, Moeller has been lighting it up. 22 points in this first quarter. This Comet offense nails a pretty big hole to climb out of.
Yeah, this is something we haven't seen at all this year. It's been the defense that's been getting beat. The Comet pass rush, they've been on fire for the latter half of the season, and they have had very little pressure on Ponitowski. Moeller's offensive line has been playing stellar football so far.
And after that onside kick attempt last time by the Crusaders, Mason playing a lot more conservative on this kickoff as Rice boots it away into the end zone. The Comets will start at their own 20.
The Comets will take over first down.
Now Mason. They've had 2 offensive drives so far. The first drive ended in an interception to Micah Rice at about the 40-yard line. Last drive was 3 and out. So definitely need to get something going.
Blevins in the backfield for the Comets. So Brown will take the shotgun snap. Fake toss to him, and Brown will take it up the middle. Only able to pick up 2 yards on the quarterback draw.
It'll be second down.
Brown immediately ran it, but met several Moeller defenders in the interior. Picked up about 2 yards, and he had momentum, but just got stopped in his tracks.
Nearing 3 minutes to go here in this first quarter. Brown under center now. Comets, very compressed set. This one, a handoff up the middle to Blevins. Blevins bounces to the right, picks up the first down and more, and he's all the way up to the 36-yard line. And a nice carry there on second down for Blevins.
And Blevins showed off his shiftiness on that play. Had about 4 yards initially, then broke through some contact, picked up an extra 10, bouncing to the right side of the field.
There's an injured Crusader down on the field. That's the senior defensive back, Nick Leonard. He's able to limp off the field on his own power, though. Comets pick up their first down of the night. They'll have it at their own 36. Brown under center yet again. Ball on the right hash. 3 tight ends in the game for the Comets. This one going to be a handoff to Adesanya, but Adesanya bounces to the left and picks up 3 yards on the carry.
And Adesanya
Made by number 40.
had a 66-yard touchdown 2 weeks ago. He's capable of breaking these runs free. But what's difficult about this Moeller team is their secondary. Obviously Hobbs has a lot of speed, and Micah Rice as well. So it's really difficult to get a big play against these guys. And then the defensive line, led by Jewett Hayes, doing a great job stopping things early.
Brown under center yet again. Adesanya's behind him. Adesanya takes the delayed handoff, chugging forward, and picks up 5 yards on the dive. It's up 3rd and 2.
Now Adesanya waiting patiently for a run lane to open up. He follows it, picks up about 6 yards. Not a very generous spot. Looked like he got to the 45, but they mark him down at the 43.
Kai Woolfolk, the fullback's in. Comets bringing in some extra protection. Adesanya chugging forward, but he's stuffed at the line of scrimmage by this Moeller defensive line.
He gets maybe 1 yard, and it was Hayes and senior linebacker Kyler Paul leading the charge. Comets going to have to send the punt unit back onto the field, and you're in a 3-score hole. Not what you want to see. Just 2 first downs so far for Mason.
Brown boots it away. Fielded at the 18. And Rice trying to shake, Smith trying to shake free of Kyle Wilson. He does. Flag thrown in the backfield. And Smith all the way up to midfield, but there was a flag thrown early. That's going to be going back.
Yeah, Smith did a great job eluding past some Mason defenders, but illegal block in the back is most likely the call here. So this play coming back.
And Andrew, I don't even really think that block in the back was necessary. Flag was thrown more on the right side of the field, and Smith was taking it on the left side of the field. And
Absolutely
Smith
not.
was taking it to the right.
Smith fielded the ball about center, maybe closer to the right hash mark. And that flag was at the left hash mark. So Smith had all the room he needed. And those are the penalties that hurt the most.
So that'll set Moeller all the way back to their own 15, so they've got 85 yards to work with. Ponatowski in the shotgun with Moeller, with Marshall to his left. This one, a handoff to Marshall. Marshall lowers his shoulder and picks up 4 yards on the carry.
And Kai Woolfolk, the Army commit, read that play perfectly, met Marshall, but Marshall lowered his shoulder, able to pick up an additional 2 yards.
Yeah, and that's what sets Marshall apart from some of the other running backs in Cincinnati. Is Marshall, he's getting an additional 2 yards after every contact, lowers his shoulder, and he is unstoppable. So that'll do it for the end of the first quarter, and it's been all Moeller offense. They've had 3 huge big plays to propel them into the end zone as they have a 3-score lead over the Comets. We're only 12 minutes into this game. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the action here on Mason Sports Radio. And we're back here for the second quarter action at Princeton High School in the OHSAA Region 4 semifinals. The Crusaders on top early over the Mason Comets, 22-0. Andrew, just give us a quick recap of that first quarter.
And so Moeller right now, they're 3 for 3 on their offensive drives. Moeller opened up with the ball on a third down play. Jordan Marshall took a screen pass 60 yards to the house, and they had a trick play to get a 2-point conversion. Then Quinn Brown threw an interception around midfield, setting up another Moeller touchdown. That one was Roman Mason picking up about a 30-yard receiving touchdown. And then once again, Crusaders went for 2 and got it. And then after that, the Crusaders had an onside kick. Initially, they got the ball, but a penalty called it back. Comets started with good field position, but weren't able to pick up the first down, so they punted. And then Moeller had a 92-yard touchdown drive, culminating in a big receiving touchdown for Javon Love.
Check out OHSAA Sports.
And now, once again, Moeller
Snapchat and Instagram.
has it been out. Last year when these two teams played in the regional semifinals, Moeller got out to a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. They led 21-0 at half and 24-0 in the third quarter. And then Mason had a late comeback, only lost by 1 touchdown, and they were just one drive away from tying the game. It was a close one last year. So the Comets are capable of coming back, but 22-point hole after the first quarter is certainly not where they expected to be, and it's a pretty tough situation.
Moeller offense will trot onto the field for second down and 7. Ball's on the right hash. Crusaders going from right to left. Ponatowski, a quick screen pass to his man. It's dropped. Javon Love had the rest of the field ahead, and he could have taken that one to the house, Andrew, but just drops it.
Yeah, and Love started thinking about 6 before he got possession of the ball and dropped it. That ball was thrown forward. He was about a yard in front of the line of scrimmage. That could have been a touchdown scoop and score for the Comets. Avoided a disaster.
So 3rd and 6 for the Crusaders. 2 receivers on the left side. Marshall in the backfield as Ponatowski rolling to the left. Takes a shot down the field. That one tipped away by Kyle Wilson. Nice play from the strong safety.
And Kyle Wilson came flying from the logo to get that pass breakup on Love. So Kyle Wilson's had a pretty solid game. I mean, this defense has struggled so far, but Wilson has a couple pass breakups, some tackles.
Wilson put his body on the line there, fully extended to tip that one away.
Yeah, and it's plays like that they're going to need if they want to pull off a comeback. And for the first time, Moeller lined up to punt.
And the way they've been playing in the first quarter, watch out for some trickery here. So Ethan Page, the senior, back to punt it away, and a flag is thrown. False start called on Moeller.
Flag on the play is against the Crusaders.
Yeah. It's now Ethan Page going to be backed up into his own end zone to punt this ball away. Wilhelm still around midfield to receive the kick, but solid field position for the Comets.
Kaiser Wilhelm's taken over the punt return duties for the Comets these past 2 weeks. Low snap. That one will be received at the 44 by Wilhelm, and Wilhelm stuffed immediately. So the Comets will start. We've got 56 yards to work with.
The Comets will take over at first down.
1st and 10.
Yeah, Wilhelm received the ball at the Mason 44-yard line and tried to make something happen, pull into the left side of the field, but was immediately swarmed by 3 Moeller defenders, brought down quickly. So Comets have 56 yards to go for the end zone.
Mason spreading things out a little bit compared to last drive. Adesanya is the back. Brown dropping back. He has some time, rolling to the right, and tried to connect with Billhorn. Unable to pull that one in. Nice coverage there from Nick Leonard.
Yeah, and Griff Daly right there on Colin Billhorn. They had a physical matchup before the play, and then Billhorn almost pulled in the grab, but a last-second push from Daly knocks it out. I like the decision there to put the ball in the hands of your best receiver, but Daly won that matchup. So 2nd and 10 now coming up for the Comets. And when you throw the ball, you get a little bit, you gamble on a throw and first down. It sets things up for more difficult second and third down.
2nd and 10. Ball on that left hash. Brown looked like he had a sprint out to the right. And a timeout was called on the field by the official.
That's a timeout for the Comets.
Actually, Mason's going to call that timeout.
So Kastner wasn't happy with the way the Comets were lined up, but
Fans, make sure you please pitch in.
now they have a little bit extra time to get this play call right. I expect a run here. OHSAA was on the field. Expect him. He's been there early down running back these past couple weeks, although Chase Blevins on 2nd down a couple drives ago had a nice 15-yard chunk gain, so could see him head back out onto the field.
And it looked like Mason had another pass play drawn up a sprint out with Brown, so we'll see what they decide to do here coming out of the huddle. But clearly Coach Kastner wasn't happy with the way his guys were lined up. The winner of this game will move on to the Region 4 finals to take on the winner of Princeton and Lakota West. So a GMC showdown happening. It's actually happening over at Mason. So we'll
Comets playing in Princeton, Vikings playing in Mason.
We'll keep you updated with that game throughout the broadcast. But 2nd and 10, Brown is going to have to take it with the keeper. It looked like he fumbled the snap a little, but he was able to hold on to it and picks up 2 yards.
Quinn Brown with the read option there fooled some of the Moeller defenders as they headed with OHSAA, but all it takes is one. And junior Lucas Sternberg, I believe, was the one to make the tackle.
It's 3rd and 8. Moeller's going to drop back. Two receivers on each side for the Comets. Ball at the 46. Brown has some time and connects with Colin Billhorn at the opposite 40. And the Comets pick up the 1st down in Moeller territory.
And Brown was facing pressure from a blitzing linebacker who kind of teed off, but stayed poised, kept his posture there, delivered a strike to Billhorn in the middle of the field. Billhorn was able to evade the first Crusader he saw and pick up an additional 2 or 3 yards. So Comets now have some momentum. And the Brown to Billhorn connection really important for this offense, especially with Braden Greer out for the season.
1st and 10 in Moeller territory. McMain's the tight end, shifts to the line of scrimmage. And Billhorn now in motion. Brown takes the snap, and he fumbles it. And Moeller's going to come out on top. It was the junior Jacob Cravens.
And last week, the Comets had 2 fumbles. The week before, I think they had 3. It's been an issue all season for Mason, and right there hurts a drive. They were moving down the field. They had a little bit of energy, and now Moeller picks it up around midfield. Mason's sideline just completely silenced. The little bit of hope you had kind of gets stifled.
So the Crusaders have it at their own 43. This one going to be a screen pass to Love, and Love takes it all the way to the Comet 48, and 9 yards on the screen pass. And these screen passes have been proven very successful for Crusaders tonight.
Yeah, Moeller's been keeping things simple for Ponatowski for the most part, and it's setting up these deeper shots on play action like the Roman Mason touchdown earlier in the game. They're keeping things close and then breaking out the big plays later in the drive.
Ball on the left hash, 9:40 to go. This one, a handoff up the middle to Marshall, and Marshall has some green grass, and Charlie Raymond saves it with a tackle deep into the secondary as Marshall takes it all the way to the 35 for a 1st down.
And Marshall's able to break through from the middle of the offensive line there, following his blockers, and then started Charlie Raymond with a shoestring tackle. Marshall high steps to try to get out of it, but Raymond brings him down hard. Marshall will step off to the sideline, but not after getting the 1st down.
Moeller starting to slow things down now. Ponatowski dropping back, feeling pressure, tries to evade it. Malachi Reed brings him down. Ponatowski will fall forward for about a yard.
Ponatowski.
And there's a Crusader down on the field.
The Comets finally able to get some pressure there. Dowers with the tackle, and that's one of the keys for the Comets in this game is Ponatowski, not much of a runner, only a sophomore as well. Can you get him out of structure and try to make plays? There, Ponatowski was able to fall forward for about a yard. There's the training staff attends the injured Moeller offensive lineman.
Moeller really spreading things out, getting all of their dudes involved here offensively. We've seen big plays, obviously, from Marshall, but also from some of their big receivers, Preston Smith, Javon Love, and Roman Mason, all getting their fair share of touches as well. And the injured Crusader was junior Jordan Bonnell Walters, and he's able to walk off field on his own power.
Adam, you were just talking about it. Moeller's been spreading the ball around to all their playmakers, not just Marshall. Last week in the win over St. Xavier, Marshall had 23 carries. Today, that load being a little bit lightened, relying more on the receiving game.
Isaac Shade checks in at running back. Play action pass, shot down the field to Preston Smith. Javon Love, the intended target. And that was just a little bit underthrown to Love.
That's a first down.
Yeah, and if that ball was thrown on the money, Love would have been able to pick up a touchdown, but instead he's able to get 1 foot in at the 2-yard line before sailing out of bounds. So Moeller has the ball inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, what a catch by Love. I had the view of the press box blocking me, so I didn't even see him pull it in. And that's going to set up Moeller in the red zone as Ponatowski feeling some pressure from Kai Woolfolk. And he's able to connect with Preston Smith. And nobody came to find him as Moeller on the board yet again.
And the Comets can't believe it. Kai Woolfolk blitzed there, nearly had Ponatowski on the ground for a sack, but Ponatowski kept looking for his receivers. Preston Smith kept running his route, able to find his way across the middle, and then Ponatowski gets the ball out at the last second, finds his man, and another touchdown.
And Moeller staying on the field yet again for the 2-point conversion attempt. Already up 28 here in the first half. They're trying to make it 30. Ponatowski, the back shoulder fade into the end zone, broken up by Stephen McCalmont. So their 2-point conversions have officially offset now as they're 2 for 4.
Yeah, Adam, I understood the first 2-point conversion, trying to catch the Comets off guard, pick up momentum. You're 4 touchdowns in. I don't really understand it at this point, Only have so many 2-point conversion plays you can run. And you're giving a lot of extra film now to the other teams. This Comet sideline already deflated. And at this point, 2-point conversions really just doing nothing but adding to the fire. Comets coming off of a turnover. Quinn Brown fumbled it past Moeller territory. So 2 turnovers on 3 drives for the Comets.
Yeah, like you mentioned it, Mason, they were in Princeton territory. It was just a simple read option, and Brown and Blevins just had some miscommunication, and Brown dropped the football.
And 2 turnovers early in this first half. That's killer. And with Moeller's offense playing the way they are, you can't afford those mistakes if half your drives are ending with the ball in the hands of the other team.
And if they were able to come on top of that drive with the touchdown, 21-7 feels a lot better than 28-0.
Yeah, and 21-7 with momentum as well. You got to keep that in mind. The defense had a stop on the drive before, but now things getting dicey. Still 8 minutes remaining in this second quarter. A lot of time left in this game, but it's been all Moeller so far. And even though we just had a lot of time left in this game, the time is running out for Mason to turn the tides and keep this close.
It's been a very slow game so far. I feel like last week we were already at halftime at this point with all these TV timeouts and stoppages of play with these Moeller touchdowns, but we've still got over 8 minutes left to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, about almost an hour into this game. 4 touchdowns later, but still maybe 15 minutes elapsed. And a little bit of a score update from the Lakota West Princeton game. Princeton found the end zone first, up 7-3.
It's just a scrimmage.
And Lakota West recently had the ball at the 5-yard line and was stopped, so Princeton holding on to their 7-3 lead. The winner of that game will face the winner of this game.
These essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Ohio.
And if it is West and Moeller, that'll be a rematch of last year's regional final matchup.
This message presented by the OHSAA.
We'll talk more about star running back on this Moeller team, Jordan Marshall, committed to Michigan. And Andrew, Michigan, we've heard them in the news a lot recently with some NCAA allegations, the sign stealing scandal. And Jim Harbaugh, we just had some more recent news about him this afternoon.
Yeah, and we're Buckeye fans. I think we like to hear that news with Harbaugh getting a punishment. It's about time the Big Ten or NCAA does something about it. I think that appeal is going to happen, so a lot more coming on the Michigan sign stealing saga. But Michigan put together a heck of a recruiting class, and Jordan Marshall is certainly a key piece of it. It's pretty rare when you see the top player at a position from Ohio go commit to play at the school up north, but that's what Marshall did. He's making a statement with that decision.
Yeah, Marshall, multiple Big Ten offers, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin, UC, just some of the big names on his offer list. And Orr will boot this one away as Dunn's going to let it drop out of bounds at the 15-yard line. So I think it makes a pretty nice field position to start things off here.
Yeah, Commons, they've had nice field position on a couple drives. It haven't been able to do much. 3 and out. They started with the ball in Moeller territory on their second possession. Had a 3 and out, and then last drive started with around midfield and had a fumble. But let's see if they can take advantage of the field position here.
Comets will take over on first down at the 35. Ball placed on that right hash and trips to the right for the Comets. So all the Comet offense on this right side of the field. Billhorn in motion. This one going to be a handoff to Blevins, but Blevins stopped immediately. No gain on the carry.
Blevins broke free for a 15-yard run a couple drives ago, and that's been the Comets' biggest gain of this game so far. But haven't been able to recapture any of the magic in the running game so far. Seen a pretty even mixture of Tammy Adesanya and Blevins in the backfield.
Second and 10 for the Comets. 2 receivers on each side. Adesanya to the left of Brown. Takes the shotgun snap, dropping back, feeling pressure, and he'll take it himself. Escapes, picks up 20 yards past the Moeller 40, and dives all the way to the Moeller 37 for a huge pickup there on second down.
And Brown facing pressure. Moeller blitzed 5 on that play, and he was able to recognize it. Found a running lane in between the right guard and right tackle and darted off into a lot of green space. Chase Blevins had a block on the perimeter that allowed Brown to pick up some extra yards, and now they have some movement, picking up that nearly 30-yard gain.
First and 10. This one going to be a toss to Adesanya, charging on the left side of the field. Shakes free of one Moeller defender and pushes forward for 7 yards on the carry.
Yeah, and Adesanya was slippery between the tackles there. Break free, and he nearly took that off for a touchdown. It looked like he was going to be stuffed after about a 3 or 4 yard gain, and then broke loose before falling down.
And they're going to spot him down at the 31, so only give him 6 on the carry.
Yeah, referees say that his knee came down.
2nd and 4. This one opens up the playbook a little bit for the Comets in 4-down territory, so we can see him take a shot here. Brown under center. This one going to be a handoff to Adesanya. Bounces to the left, pushing forward past the 20 to the 17-yard line. And another big pickup by Tammy Adesanya.
He had 3 consecutive big runs for the Comets. Adesanya followed his blockers, and that was a great play set up there for Mason. Before the play started, had some pre-snap movement. Kai Wolfwick, Vaughn Johnson, and Liam McMahons, the tight ends, and H-back moved from the left side of line of scrimmage to the right side. Moeller's defensive line followed, and then they handed the ball off left. Tammy Adesanya had a lot of room.
Comets inside the Moeller red zone for the first time tonight. This one, another toss to Adesanya, this time swallowed up for a gain of nothing.
And a sweep there at Adesanya. It was intended to go outside, but Moeller's defensive back swarmed in. He has to cut inside and barely gets a yard. Moeller's 4 defensive linemen are just playing really great football right now. Moeller's able to stick with their 3 linebackers, leave them out there on early downs.
It'll be 2nd down for the Comets.
So they're limiting the opportunities on the perimeter, and then clean tackles on the inside.
5 minutes left in the first half. 2nd and 10 for the Comets. Brown under center. And Coach Castor going to have to call another timeout before the play clock expires. He's frustrated on the sideline right now.
Yeah, and if you're not happy with the play call or don't seem to think your players are ready, you have to use a timeout here. Can't afford a false start or a delay of game penalty, to push you back and take away some of the momentum you've picked up on this drive. And 5 minutes remaining, already used 2 of your 3 timeouts, but you're down 28 points on the scoreboard. I don't think time is a factor right now. You just need to get on the scoreboard. And if this is going to get the best play up, then it's worth it. Kastner speaking with his guys right now, get the composure down. And you've had 3 really solid runs on this drive already. Adesanya was stopped on that last play, so now give him a breather. He's carried the ball 3 straight times. Get his energy back up. And Moeller's sideline, very calm, relaxed, happy environment over there. And they should be. They're up 4 touchdowns. But Mason certainly has to play with a chip on their shoulder from now on.
And I'm curious to see what the workload of Jordan Marshall will be. Now if Moeller's up 4 touchdowns. We saw last year when they're up 21-0 at halftime. Marshall did not play the second half.
Until the 4th quarter when the Comets started to come back, yeah. And going into this game, I kind of expected, if you get up 2 or 3 touchdowns, that's when Marshall goes off the field. But he's been staying on so far.
Comets offense back on the field now. 2nd and 10. Brown under center. Fake handoff to Blevins. Hit immediately, and they were trying to set up a screen pass to Kai Wolfwick, and Brown took a hit there at the end.
Yeah, Quinn Brown got destroyed there and just had to prevent the interception there. He threw the ball high up for Wolfwick, wasn't able to come down with it. Christian Harris, the defensive lineman, he's been wreaking havoc so far, moving him around, whether it's on the interior or off the edge as he was on that play.
And Brown had a beautiful fake handoff there, and if he wasn't facing pressure, would have been able to connect with Wolfwick for a nice screen. 3rd and 10. Bill Horn in motion. They're going to toss it to Kai Wolfwick. A nice little shovel pass. Holds on to the football and picks up 12 yards on the carry. And Wolfwick was lined up at fullback, acted like he was blocking, then kind of slipped to the left as all the common momentum was headed to the right. And a nice play design there.
Yeah, Brown fakes the handoff. Looks like a standard read option. Moeller bites as they're heading towards Quinn Brown. And just before Comet defenders get in his area, he is able to pitch the ball out to Wolfwick, and nobody was on the left side of the field. Once again, solid play calling from Mason on this drive, and now they're inside the 5-yard line.
So 1st and goal, ball at the 4. Brown, a toss to Adesanya. Adesanya trying to get upfield, but corralled in the backfield for a 2-yard loss.
Yeah, can't get anything there. Was trying to follow his blockers, but Moeller was with him every step of the way, and he gets dropped back at the 6-yard line.
Mason going to bring some of their receivers back onto the field and spread things out. They had their jumbo set in. Even Big John Hendricks, the defensive tackle, was in there for the Comets.
Yeah, we haven't seen that all season. And that's one of my favorite formations in football is when you bring in a big defensive tackle to block. So hopefully if they get back to the goal line, we'll see that again.
2nd and 6. 2nd and goal at the 6. Brown in the shotgun. Muffs the snap. Was able to pick it back up, but stopped after a 1-yard gain. And Brown has had some issues recovering these shotgun snaps, and he was shaken up on that play.
Yeah, he got hit hard. I'm not sure if that was a design QB run or not, but Quinn Brown lined up in the shotgun and then muffed it a little bit, so he was lined back up past the 10-yard line, so was able to pick up like 4 or 5-yard gain, but barely got back to the line of scrimmage because he was so far back on that snap. If it had been a clean snap, got the ball where he wanted it, could have been a touchdown.
3rd and goal at the 5. 2 receivers on the right. Colin Billhorn on the left. Ball on the right hash. Brown in the shotgun. This one, a toss to Billhorn as they're going to throw some trickery of their own. Billhorn trying to find Quinn Brown, but that play is wrapped up in the backfield. Mason unsuccessful in their trick play.
Yeah, and Quinn Brown, the quarterback, played tight end every year up until this one, and Colin Billhorn had him move into the end zone, but was facing pressure, wasn't able to get the ball out of his hands. Now Comets have to settle for a field goal. Disappointing. And that play was open, just Billhorn wasn't comfortable getting the ball out in time.
Something to keep in mind here, Braden Greer has served as the team's holder, but he's been out. So now Brandon Dunn holding kicks for Max Gogol. This, a 27-yard attempt. And it's good. So the Comets are now on the board after the 27-yard field goal from Max Gogol with 2 minutes and 41 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and Comets drove over 60 yards down the field on that drive. They're probably a little bit disappointed that they didn't get 6 points. They had several plays that should have ended up that way, but Moeller's defense did a good job of adjusting and blowing things up. And now, with 2 minutes and 41 seconds left, I don't expect Mason to get the football back.
Well,
I think
Andrew, like you mentioned,
with the run game.
Moeller with all these 2-point conversion attempts, kind of giving away some of their plays, and Mason on that drive gave 2 of their trick plays away with that little shovel pass to the fullback, and then the design throw with Billhorn, which was not successful.
Yeah, the Comets a little bit more desperate though than Moeller was. When you're up leading 6-0 versus down 28-3 in the playoffs, you can afford to pull out all of your trick plays that you've been keeping in store for the entire season.
So Gogol will boot it away for the Comets. This one going to be a squib kick, received at the 25. And Jake and Duffy is the one that recovered it for Moeller and takes it all the way up to the 38.
And Jordan Marshall is in the huddle for Moeller. I'm surprised to see him out here still. Dealing with that ankle injury. Didn't play in week 10, didn't play in round 1 against West Claremont, and you're up by 25 points. Definitely risky for him and this team to stay out there. But they're going to definitely lean on their run game in this drive, try to control the clock, take it all the way up to halftime.
Ball on the right hash. Moeller going from right to left. This one, a screen pass to Harris, and E.J. Harris tripped up after a 5-yard gain and dives forward for about 3 more. So that'll be 8 yards on the connection from Ponatowski to E.J. Harris.
And Harris had a lot of room on that play. He was outpacing Stephen McCalmont, and I believe it was his own it was his teammate Javon Love that tripped him up.
2nd and 2 now. Ponatowski trying to set up a screen pass to Marshall, catches it at the 45 and takes it up to the 49. And that should be enough for a Moeller first down, and it is.
Yeah, Malachi Reed got into the backfield on that play, forced Ponatowski to throw the check down to Jordan Marshall. And John Hendricks, stayed with Marshall pretty well. Hendricks, a big body, not really known for his speed, being the nose tackle, but he ran pretty well with Marshall on that play, nearly prevented the first down.
1st and 10 at Crusader 49. Ponatowski, a quick pass to Jagan Duffy, and Jagan Duffy shakes free of Stephen McCalmont in the secondary, and he takes this one to the house, 51 yards. And that was just a quick little out route to the tight end, Andrew, and who says the tight end can't have some speed?
Yeah, and Jagan Duffy, he's committed to play at Bowling Green next year, and they're going to hope some of that playmaking translate, because right there, got the ball in space and was gone. You don't see that from a lot of tight ends in high school football. He's not just a blocker, he's a legitimate receiving threat.
And this time, Devin Orth on to boot away the extra point for the first time tonight, and he connects. So Moeller 35-3 here with under 2 minutes left in the first half.
Yeah, Moeller's just offensively, they've gotten everything they wanted. Their wide receivers are making plays down the field. A ton of big plays and broken tackles. This time it was the tight end, Jake and Duffy, getting in on the action.
And Andrew, these 35 points are more than the Comets have allowed in the last 5 games. So already in this first half, they've already allowed 11 more points than they have in the last 5 games.
Yeah, Comets defense has not been the start that they hoped for. They've had such a tremendous season, but Moeller's offense has come to play.
And Devin Orr boots this one deep into the end zone for a touchback, as Comets will take over at the 20. 150 left in the game, or in the first half.
In a score update, Lakota West Princeton at halftime, the Vikings leading the Firebirds 7-6. Winner of that team gets the winner of Mason Moeller, which right now definitely looking like it's going to be the Crusaders for the 3rd straight year.
Still 2 quarters to go, and the Comets have a drive right here, and they will receive the second half kickoff. So not all hope is lost yet, but Comets got to get on the board here.
The Comets had a great second half against this team last year, but Moeller in a big hole.
And this one be a quick handoff up the middle, but swarmed immediately in the backfield. Brown took it himself.
And Quinn Brown took that ball immediately, but met by Moeller defenders. Had to do a lot of work to get back to the line of scrimmage.
A timeout called on the field by the Crusaders. 1:36 left in the first half. And Andrew, I think they're going to try to get the ball back and put the ball in the end zone one more time.
And Moeller's been playing aggressively all game long, going for 2-point conversions, kicking onside kicks. This fits their method so far. And, just trying to demoralize the Comets.
Won the World Series, and the Ford Model R hit the assembly line. While here in Ohio, school administrators came together to form the Ohio High School Athletic Association. One thing that hasn't changed since 1907 is the dedication of
and we're going to head to a quick break on this media timeout, but 1:36 remaining here in the first half.
Second down.
Back from the media timeout, 2nd and 10 for the Comets, 1:36 to go. Brown takes the snap, rolling to the right, trying to connect with Brandon Dunn, and Dunn, they're going to say he was out of bounds, but a tremendous catch, couldn't drag that toe in.
And, you know, it's tough to see if Dunn was able to come down with possession. He was in the Moeller sideline, but I thought he got a foot down. I'm going to assume he lost control. But either way, a well-delivered ball from Brown. But Moeller's secondary just in position to make the stop.
That sets up 3rd and 10, 1:28 to go. Brown dropping back, trying to evade pressure, and he takes off, trying to pick up the first down, and he does. Brown shows off his legs again and picks up a Comet first down.
If the Comets are going to get things going in the second half, it has to start with Quinn Brown in the running game. Had nearly a 30-yard run on the last drive. There picks up a first down scrambling. He's a dual-threat quarterback. They need to utilize that. And, you know, once you get the threat of the quarterback running, it opens things up downfield as you have to crash your linebackers and safeties.
Two receivers on each side for the Comets. Brown takes the shotgun snap, dropping back, feeling some pressure, and he's sacked in the backfield.
Sack, the quarterback sacked by number 96.
Rudy Reno, the sophomore,
Timeout, Crusaders.
with the sack there. And Moeller's going to call their second timeout. Comets get pushed back pretty far there. A minute 11 on the clock. After the first down, thought the Crusaders would have given up their timeouts, but now stops the clock again. And we're going to head to another quick break with this media timeout. 2nd and 17 as we'll be back with you for the rest of the action on Mason Sports Radio.
Down for the Comets.
2nd and long for the Comets. Trips to the right, ball on the left hash, and Brown's going to take it himself on a quarterback draw.
That run was by the quarterback, number 12, Brown.
And swallowed up after a 3-yard gain.
Number 40.
Sets up 3rd and long with a minute left. And Moeller's going to call their 3rd timeout of the half.
When you walk
Timeout, Crusaders.
successful companies,
Crusaders really want the ball back.
answer. Men and women who play high school sports.
And Comet trainers
Education-based high school sports give us
taking a
all
look.
the athletes we can root for. They give us leaders we can depend on. Question. So where will we find tomorrow's leaders? Answer. High school sports.
Quinn Brown, who went down pretty hard after that run on 2nd down, and now 3rd and 12 coming up.
Your actions in the stands impact participating students.
Yeah, and
including
I'm surprised to see Moeller using these timeouts. They're already up by 32 points. They've got all the momentum right now. Mason seems pretty deflated. I mean, dare I say, kind of a cocky mindset head into it. We've seen them use four 2-point conversion attempts, but Moeller just trying to get ahead and being aggressive.
Yeah, it's one thing to be aggressive when there's a lot of time left on the clock or the scoreboard's a little bit closer, but you're up 32 with a minute left. I get they've turned over some quick possessions, but this is unnecessary in my opinion.
This timeout extended by the media timeout. This game being televised by a local TV station, so
And who do we rely on to help?
it could be a pretty long game. So we're already about an hour and a half in.
Less than 1/3.
Yeah, normally these blowout games go by pretty quickly, but it's been the opposite so far. A lot of stoppage. And Caden Ashurst was just warming up on the sideline. Quinn Brown went down on the last play. Still getting checked out on the sideline.
And again, Brown struggled with that torn labrum through the season. We were honestly surprised to see him back this season after that injury. And it will be the junior Caden Ashurst checking into the game for the Comets. 3rd and 13. Bill Horn's in motion. This one a handoff to Blevins, and Blevins shows a quick burst of speed initially, but stopped after 4 yards.
Number 10, Blevins.
So that'll set up 4th down.
And the clock is stopped for some reason. Coach Kastner unhappy with the officials. Moeller out of timeouts. Kastner certainly didn't use his.
Your actions in the
And so
stands
now
impact
the stadium has to sit through another round of TV commercials. Kastner,
Be respectful.
as well as us, baffled by why the clock stopped there. That was a run play. Blevins went down on contact. The clock should be running.
Yeah, and the only logical reason I can think is maybe they called an injury timeout for Brown, but Brown waited to drop down
before.
He waited to drop down until after that timeout was called, and Coach Kastner's heated, and rightfully so.
Yeah, Moeller going to get at least one play on offense now, dragging this half out even more. The Comets going to have to punt here on 4th down.
Yeah, so the Comets would be punting with the clock expiring to about the 2-second mark, and by the time they booted it away, unless Moeller were to return the punt for a touchdown, they would.
Worth noting that Preston Smith does have one punt return touchdown this year. It came in week 2. It was a 72-yarder. He's lined up at about 31.
And again, Quinn Brown serves as the team's punter. It's going to be Javion Hendricks to boot it away.
Flag on the play.
And a penalty on Moeller. Encroachment. Got a little antsy jumping that snap.
4th down for the Comets.
So 4th down for the Comets. It makes it a 4th and 3. Comets trying to get Moeller to jump off again. That one booted away. Drops down at the 25, recovered by Smith. Smith will run out of bounds at the 35.
That was a pretty good punt from Jaden Smith, putting on a nice audition tape to be the team's punter next year when Quinn Brown graduates. So Moeller backed up around between the 30-35 yard line. A lot of room to go here with 30 seconds left, but we've seen them break off multiple long touchdowns.
And most teams, we would just see kneeling this out with the lead they have, but Moeller staying on the field with
most teams would have let the play run out already.
Sponatowski dropping back a quick pass to Marshall, and Marshall will get out of bounds at the 41. Clock stops with 24 seconds left.
24 seconds stops. Number 24 heading out of bounds.
2nd down for the Crusaders.
2nd down.
Yeah, and tell you what, if I'm the coaches up at Michigan and I'm watching this game right now and I'm seeing Jordan Marshall still in the game with your team up 32-0 with an ankle injury, I'm not going to lie, I'd be pretty upset. But Moeller keeping the foot on the gas pedal.
2nd and 4, Poniskowski. Same exact play this time to their tight end, Duffy. And Duffy step out at the 47 for a Moeller 1st down. 20 seconds to go in the half.
Chains move, clock stops. Once again, Marshall and Podakowski alone in the backfield. Trips out left.
Poniskowski this time trying to set up a screen pass to Marshall, but Malachi Reed wraps it up.
And Reed put a little bit of extra oomph in that takedown there. Poniskowski was able to get the ball out just before his knee touched the ground.
2nd down for the Crusaders.
Will be 2nd and 10, 16 seconds to go. Poniskowski rolling to the left. And that one overthrown, trying to find Javon Love.
Pass from number 7, Ponatowski, fell incomplete.
So 3rd and 10, 11 seconds left, and Moeller still
It'll be 3rd down for
trying to take a shot.
Yeah, they've taken a lot already in this game, but I guess need a couple more going into halftime. It's nearly 8:30.
Ponatowski dropping back. Could be the final play of the half. And Noah Dowers wraps him up.
by number 33, Dowers.
And the clock's stopping again.
Timeout comments.
So Mason calls their final timeout. And Andrew, if Mason's calling their timeout now, I'm still unsure of how that last timeout happened.
Yeah, I have to assume at this point that the officials reversed Moeller's timeout into an injury timeout, and then the next play was Moeller's timeout. Certainly a confusing situation here, and Coach Castro calling that last timeout certainly as a response to what Moeller has been doing these last few plays. So he's gonna, assuming Moeller punts here, give his special teams unit a chance to make something happen. They had a touchdown last week on a blocked punt. But defense trotting back out there. I think Moeller's going to take another shot down the field.
Yeah, but even then, I'm still confused because Brown he didn't drop down until after the
timeout was clearly called immediately after.
Timeout was already called.
And,
so
within the last 2 minutes, an injury timeout that doesn't stop a timeout from being called.
Yeah,
that rule's in place, so players don't use injuries to keep the clock stopped. But
so the Comets are sending Preston Estoesta back to return the punt. And Moeller's going with a fake punt here. Blocked away by Estoesta. And that will do it for the first half here at Princeton High School. Moeller up 35-3. And the Comets will receive the second half kickoff for the first half. 35-3, Moeller on top. Welcome back to Princeton High School for the OHSAA Region 4 semifinal between the Moeller Crusaders and the Mason Comets. In this first half, it was all Crusaders, up 35-3 over the Comets. And it was really just an offensive explosion, Andrew.
Yeah, Moeller passing game was absolutely unbelievable in that first half.
As Comets receive that opening kickoff in the end zone, so it will be a touchback. And things got a little dicey, in those last 2 minutes, and I'll bite my tongue, but Moeller just elected to go for it. Just keep calling timeouts and going for it. So they're trying to run up, and it's clear that their mentality heading into this game is to make a statement, and they've done so.
Yeah, they went for 2 on their first 4 touchdowns, had an onside kick when they were leading 16-0 in the first quarter. And it kind of came back to bite them on that last play of the second quarter. The punter, Ethan Page, took a big hit and was hurt. So hopefully we can see a clean second half.
So it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Comets at their own 20. Trips to the right, one receiver to the left. This one going to be a handoff to Tammy Adesanya, and he picks up 2 yards on the carry. And it is Caden Ashurst, the quarterback that's in the game. Quinn Brown went down at the end of the second half with an apparent injury. It seemed like he re-aggravated his shoulder, but so the junior Ashurst stepping in.
Yeah, hopefully Brown can recover a little bit enough to play a few more snaps and end his season or his career on his own terms. But if not, Ashurst has an opportunity to prove himself as next year's starter.
2nd and 7. This one, a toss, trying to get to Blevins, and Ashurst threw that one behind him. Comets able to fall on top of it, but that is a huge loss.
Yeah, and the timing just off on the toss there. Ashurst was facing pressure from the interior and just rushes the toss to Adesanya. He can't hold on to it and has to fall down for a big loss. Now 3rd and 18. And a lot of the offense in that second quarter was Quinn Brown in the rushing game. Ashurst not as much as a dual threat, so it could be tough for the Comets to move the ball down the field.
3rd and 18 now for the Comets. Ashurst rolling to his right and trying to find his man Brandon Dunn, but that one unable to get to him. Carson Hobbs with the coverage for the Crusaders, and the Mason punt unit will trot onto the field, led by new punter Jaden Smith after Quinn Brown's injury.
Yeah, and Brandon Dunn was locked up with the Notre Dame commit Hobbs there. Probably would have been pass interference if that ball was thrown a little bit more accurately, but Dunn was never able to make the release on his route. And Comets have to punt.
Smith boots that one away, back to receive Carson Ko. Ko takes it at the 48, makes one defender miss, and wrapped up at the Comet 34. So Moeller going to start with tremendous field position here. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter.
And Ko was rolling and actually was brought down there by running into one of his teammates, and then Comets were able to bring him down after that. So just more going Moeller's way.
So Marshall not in the game to start the second half. It will be the running back Isaac Shade in the game. Ponataski in the shotgun. And first play of the half, will hand it off to Shade, and he picks up 2 to 3 yards on the carry.
Yeah, and Shade back up to Marshall, also a capable back himself. Took over the starting duties in weeks 10 and then the first round of the playoffs. Did pretty well. He's got almost 300 yards on the year, 4 touchdowns as well. Something to note, it does have 3 fumbles this year. So keep that in mind. Comets going to try to force some turnovers. Shade, the senior, looking to make the most of his last few games as a Crusader.
2nd and 8 now for Moeller. Ball at the 33. This one, another handoff to Shade. That time finds a hole and takes it for 5 yards up to the Comet 28. Third down.
That play was well blocked, and Shade just followed his lineman, picked up about 5 or 6 there, brought down by Dowers eventually. So 3rd and 4 now. It is 4-down territory, right at the edge of field goal range. It'll be interesting to see if Moeller doesn't get the first down here, whether they elect to stay aggressive.
Moeller bringing it in for a pretty condensed set here on 3rd down. This one, play action pass. Ponatoski rolling to his left, taking a shot down the field and intercepted by Stephen McCalmont.
So that's the start the Comets needed on defense. A turnover. It's been turnovers the past couple weeks that have won them the games. They had 4 interceptions against Lebanon. Obviously the blocked punt last week, as well as another interception. So McCalmont turns the tides a little bit, but will have very poor field position at the 5-yard line.
Common offense. Not a lot of space to go, but that is a momentum shifter they needed. So we'll start at their own 4. And this time it's going to be the junior Aston Schaaf at quarterback. And Schaaf's going to take it himself. Miscommunication on the handoff. And charges forward, not going to pick up anything. Stopped at the line of scrimmage for maybe picks up 1 yard.
Yeah, and so now maybe a little bit of a competition brewing between Ashurst and Schaaf. We saw them alternate playing quarterback when Brown was out in the middle of the season. Ashurst played predominantly in the Princeton game. Schaaf, played predominantly in the Princeton game, and Ashurst led the game-winning drive in the Middletown homecoming game. But they're going to extend their battle, both juniors here.
Schaaf under center now, 2nd and 9. So he drops back, feeling pressure, has to let go of it, connects with Billhorn. Not going to be enough for the first down. And he picks up about 2 yards with forward progress.
And Billhorn and Schaaf there able to connect, extend that play, stay out of the end zone, prevent the safety. Now Schaaf has a little bit more space on this 3rd down play, but might see a conservative play call here to just keep it on the ground and try to push forward. Still very much in safety territory.
So it'll be 3rd down and 7. Schaaf in the shotgun. Rolling to his left. Taking a shot down the field to Billhorn. And Billhorn pulls it in. Flag is thrown as he was being held all over. But pulls in the miraculous catch there.
Yeah, and Billhorn's been fantastic these last couple of weeks. Had a one-handed touchdown against Lebanon right there. Makes a circus catch with 3 men draped on him. And I believe this, not sure if they were going to call Billhorn down in bounds, but the Comets are trotting back to the line of scrimmage. Looked to me like pass interference, but maybe some offsetting penalties.
Pass interference against the Crusaders.
And it was pass interference against the Crusaders. And unless it said that Billhorn did not secure the catch, because otherwise we would have seen the Comets, accept that penalty as Billhorn picks up about 25 on the catch. But it'll still give them a first down.
Chains still move. We do have a running clock now that.
First and 10 at the 25. Schaaf, fake toss to Adesanya. And tries to find Vaughn Johnson, his tight end. And that one going to be intercepted by the defensive lineman, Kyler Paul, the outside linebacker.
And Paul, one of the standouts for this Moeller team, the senior. Entered the game 15 tackles for loss, 3 forced fumbles, and 87 tackles. And there picks up the interception. So he's been a turnover machine for this team. And now, Moeller, they had 26 takeaways entering this game. They have 3 so far.
And that one, Schaaf just tried to force it to Johnson there. Johnson looked like he had his man beat, but the ball a little bit underthrown. That was just a quick, 3-yard out route as the tight end kind of slipped out after his block, and
it was well covered by
Paul
linebacker.
So Moeller going to start inside the 5. First and goal at the 4. As backup quarterbacks in the game, Tyler Jocelyn. And Jocelyn fumbles the snap. So he's going to have to take it himself. And he'll be stopped a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Making it second and goal at the 5.
And Moeller had some men in motion coming in from the right side, but Jocelyn had some trouble with the snap, so he just has to run it himself, and immediately met by some Comets, able to get back to the line of scrimmage.
So third quarter's definitely been the quickest so far. We're already under 3 minutes to go. Moeller taking their time. Second and goal. Flag thrown. Looks like it's going to be a false start on Moeller. So that'll push them back 5 yards.
And we do have a running clock in this second half. So the Comets are down by 30.
And they're gonna say before that penalty, Moeller got a timeout off in time.
Interesting to see a timeout called in this situation. Moeller used all their timeouts. About 2 minutes to go in the second quarter. In the events that led up to that last second drive where they were trying to put points on the board.
Yeah, and going back to the end of that first half, I was a little disappointed in the sportsmanship. I'm not going to lie. You're up by 32, and, a minute left. It could have just kneeled it out. Comets and Moeller uses all 3 timeouts, tries to get the ball back. Instead of kneeling it out, take 3 shots down the field when you're already up by 32 with all the momentum headed into the half. And then on 4th down with 3 seconds left, you're lined up to punt, run a fake punt, and then get your punter injured. So a little bit of karma there, and I was a little disappointed in that last drive. And
some good news that Ethan Page, the punter, does appear.
Yeah, he does appear to be
and healthy on the sideline.
But so again, you're just putting your players at an unnecessary risk there. And, like you mentioned earlier, those 4 two-point conversion attempts. The first one, I understand you're trying to make a statement. Second one, again, okay, you're making a statement. But those 3rd and 4th, when you have all the momentum in the first quarter still, I don't know, a little questionable to me, Andrew. But
yeah, and Moeller wanted to make a statement in this game. I understand, you just had a big win against your rivals, St. Xavier last week, now in the regional semis. And they did make a statement at that first drive. We weren't expecting the 2-point conversion on the first drive. But the way the offense has been playing, it went a little bit too far in that first half.
Yeah. And Moeller have clearly been outplaying the Comets, as the scoreboard suggests. But again, it just seemed a little unnecessary. And you try to think back to last year in the regional semifinals. The end of the game, there was a little scuffle at the end between Coach Kastler and Moeller's coach Mark Elder. But the Coach Elder is not the coach at Moeller anymore.
An entirely new coaching staff here at Moeller. Bert Bathiani, now Hellman. Moeller came from coaching high school ball in Kentucky, and he was the GCL Coach of the Year this year. He's done a great job in his first year with the program. Yeah, so it's easy to point back to last year and say, hey, maybe there was some bad blood, but completely fresh coaching staffs. It's certainly surprising to see some of the antics in this game.
And again, these timeouts prolonged by media timeouts. This game being streamed exclusively by Spectrum, so we weren't able to provide you with video coverage, but we're just glad to be here covering the Comets playoff run.
Second and goal.
So second and goal for the Crusaders. Ball at the 5. This one, a jet toss on the outside. It was Carson Kao, the sophomore receiver, and he gets wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. Comet defense does a nice job containing him there.
Yeah, Stephen McCalmont was able to seal the edge and flatten KO. You know, a KO on KO, I guess you could say.
.128 left in this third quarter. This one going to be a handoff to Shade. Shade wrapped up again behind the line of scrimmage. The Comet defense stays strong there after that turnover offensively, and that's going to force the Moeller field goal unit to trot on the field.
Yeah, and expect to see the field goal unit come on it. And it does. Senior Devin Orr trotting out. 6 for 10 on field goals this season. Has a season long of 46 yards, and he's 40 for 44 on extra points. So a reliable kicker. They had him last year as well.
Roman Mason, the holder. And the kick is up and good. Devin Orr connects. So Moeller extends their lead to 35 after the field goal by the senior, 27 yards. So each team has a 27-yard field goal tonight. Gogol knocked one through in the second quarter. Now Devin Orr matches him.
And that Comet's interception inside their own 10-yard line. The defense was able to soften the blow. Had 3 critical stops. Culminated with a big tackle from Liam McMains. So now Comet offense going to be back on the field. I think it'll be Ashurst, assuming that the quarterbacks are alternating snaps. Schaaf was the one out there on the field last. Threw that interception to Kyler Paul.
Yeah, and Moeller came into this game seeded 5, but you know, for those of you that watched last week's game, definitely the toughest opponent that the Comets have faced, even though they beat 1-seeded Milford, but Moeller has come out guns a-blazing.
Yeah, Moeller played a very tough non-conference schedule, you know, as the GCL often does. Played a lot of out-of-state games, had 3 out-of-state losses.
As Orr kicks this one off, and Dunn steps into the end zone on the return, so it'll be a touchback. And yeah, like you mentioned it, and this Crusaders team, they hung with St. Edward's. St. Edward's, known for being the powerhouse in Ohio, top 20 ranking in the country, and it was only a 7-point loss. So Moeller proving they can hang with the big dogs and could definitely make a state run.
Yeah, St. Edward's, that's the ultimate test this year. St. Edward's, the favorite to win the state championships this year, and Moeller, they were able to hang with them. And you know, that gives you a lot of confidence. Even though they were the 5 seed heading into those playoffs, you know, got to credit that to the 6-4 record. You know, they felt that they were the best team in this region, and they're proving it so far.
And not surprising, we see Caden Ashurst trotting onto the field after that interception by Ashton Schaaf. Is this one going to be a toss? And wrapped up in the backfield by the Moeller defensive line.
And that'll do it for the third quarter.
And the Crusaders extend their lead to 35. The 27-yard field goal by number 27, Devin Orr. 38-3 here, headed into the fourth quarter. Make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the action here on Mason Sports Radio. The final 12 minutes of action here at Viking Stadium here in Princeton, Ohio. The Crusaders on top of the Comets 38-3 in the Region 4 semifinals of the OHSAA playoffs. Comets have possession at their own 18. And those first 36 minutes of play have just been all Moeller Crusaders, and Moeller starting to bring the second strings in, get their guys some recs in the playoffs.
Yeah. Sophomore quarterback Matt Ponatowski was just tossing it around like a frisbee to all his playmakers, and he broke the school record for single-season passing yards. That's an incredible accomplishment for a storied school like Moeller, and he's only a sophomore his first year starting. So they've got a rising star in their hands, and then obviously Jordan Marshall, the star senior running back. So this offense has a lot of firepower. They've used it very well tonight. And now getting the chance to see some of the reserves. Fellow sophomore Tyler Jocelyn has checked in at quarterback. But now the Comets trotting out on offense.
And will be a running clock here in the fourth quarter. Moeller ahead by 36.
Second down for the Comets.
Cale Jordan in that running back for the Comets. Ashurst under center. Jordan takes the handoff and charging forward. A nice run there. Picks up 7 yards.
And Cale Jordan, the junior, was a reserve running back last year. This year, switched positions to tight end to follow up Quentin Kaler, who graduated last year, and Quinn Brown, who switched to quarterback. And he was the team's starting tight end through most of the first half of the season, and the Comets then switched their starting left tackle, Vaughn Johnson, to tight end. Have been playing Liam McMains and Kai Wolflick, the defensive stars, on tight end more so. Jordan's snaps have gone down, but now getting back to his initial position of running back and has a good first run.
3rd and 5 for the Comets. Ashurst under center. Another handoff to Jordan. Jordan wrapped up after a 2-yard gain, lunged forward for maybe a third. That'll set up 4th and short. Looks like Comet offense is going to stay on the field. Nothing to lose here in the fourth quarter. Try to go for this 4th and 3.
Yeah, you're down 35 points in the fourth quarter. You know, the chance of a comeback is very unlikely at this point. The Comets know that, but still want to build some momentum, be able to hold your head up high, and 4th and 3 is certainly close enough to go for it respectfully.
4th down for the Comets.
Ashurst under center for this 4th down. He's sprinting out to the right and finds a wide open Kai Wolfolk, the fullback, charging forward up to their own 44, so they pick up more than enough for the first down on 4th.
And we've seen Kai Wolfolk used a lot on offense today. They've been using him at tight end like H-back, and traditionally this season he's been coming in as the goal line fullback, but they've been stretching him out wide into an inline tight end position, and there Caden Asher sprints out and finds Wolfolk pretty wide open. Picks up a big first down.
Comets, very condensed formation on the right hash. This one a toss to Jordan. And Jordan charging upfield, picks up 5 yards. And a late push will give them a 6th.
Jordan had a lot of blockers on that play. Just followed his running lanes. Picked up, like you said, about 5 initially, and then fell forward for an extra 2.
So 2nd and 3 now, inside of Moeller territory now at the 49. This one, another handoff to Jordan, and stuffed right after he received the handoff. He's able to lunge forward for a yard, and lucky to get a yard there.
Yeah, he was stuffed. Immediately met in the backfield by senior Nick Monahan.
It'll be 3rd down for the Comets.
So 3rd and short for Mason. 8.5 minutes to go. Two tight ends motion to the line of scrimmage. This one going to be a handoff to Adesanya. Adesanya tries to bounce to the right to find some room to run, and he does not. Swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. We'll set up a 4th and 3.
Yeah, Adesanya waited in the backfield there trying to see a lane open up, but he just waited for too long. Crusaders were able to swarm him, and he wasn't able to pick up any yardage.
And Adesanya tried to bounce to the right, and instead of going vertical, goes laterally, and could have picked up probably 2 or 3 yards there.
Adesanya, he's a big guy, was the starting linebacker this year until switching to running back. And I think if he would have been running downhill, had some momentum, he could have picked up that first down.
At least would have set up a 4th and short. 4th and 3 now as Ashurst is just going to take it himself, diving forward.
Ball squeaks out at the end, but I believe Ashurst was able to stretch the ball out enough for a first down.
Number 7, Ashurst.
And they will give it to him, so the Comet offense will stay on the field. 7:25 left in the game. Mason is going to try to drive down the field, get some points on the board, and make this score look a little bit better on the box score.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get an offensive touchdown. Haven't had one since the first half of the Lebanon game 2 weeks ago.
Ashurst dropping back, trying to connect with Blevins, and he connects.
Really well placed ball there.
And Griff Daly had great coverage there. Almost looked like he was going to get a piece on it, but Blevins just snatches it from the air.
Yeah, Daly was closing in on that ball, but Ashurst places it just where Blevins was expecting it. He's able to pull it in and get past Daly and nearly got the first down.
Second and 2 now. Ball at the Moeller 38. Ashurst dropping back, feeling some serious pressure, and the ball's out. Forced fumble for Moeller, and it's picked up by the Crusaders at the 39 inside of Comet territory, and the Moeller offense will trot back onto the field yet again.
Yeah, 4 quarters, 4 turnovers for the Mason offense. Brown had an interception in the first quarter, then fumbled it in the second. Schaaf threw an interception late in the third quarter, and then right there, Ashurst gets stripped during the sack, and so Moeller starting with the ball at the Comet 39, and with 6 minutes left and a running clock, Mason probably only going to get the ball back one more time with limited time.
Again, winner of this game likely to be the Crusaders. We'll move on to the regional finals to take on the winner of Princeton and Lakota West, and we'll try to get some more updates on that. Last time I heard Princeton, I believe, was up 12-6. We'll try to keep you updated on that.
And who do we rely on to help build and foster that foundation?
Coaches, look at teaching and scoring.
And my bad, Lakota West up 19-7 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, so looking like we're going to have a rematch of last year's regional finals. The Crusaders took down Lakota West last year, but the very different teams. Lakota West lost a lot of their star players, including Ohio State safety Malik Hartford. We've seen him make some plays on Saturdays already. And then Moeller, new quarterback, lost their star receiver Tennell Bryant. They still have Jordan Marshall, so that'll be a fun matchup next week. Lakota West has a great defense as well. And the Comets kept it close against West, had a tight 10-7 loss. That game went all the way to the final minute.
And Moeller on the sideline having some fun. Carson Hobbs and Jordan Marshall playing a game of shadow boxing, so two different energies on these sidelines right now. Moeller very upbeat, and Mason just deflated.
Yeah, and that's what happens. When you're up big in the fourth quarter. Moeller knows they're moving on. They've got a chance to make a state run. The Comets their season coming to an end, and they've had a great playoff run. It took down the #1 seed last week, had a lot of energy, and this certainly takes some of the energy out of that, but doesn't take away from the accomplishments this team had going into Lebanon, having a decisive victory, and then last week taking down the #1 seeded Milford Eagles at their house. This team had an underdog mentality. And if you'd have told us earlier in the season, especially in that Hamilton game week 3, that the Comets would have been still alive in the regional semifinals, we wouldn't have believed you. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think the coaching staff or the players would have believed you. Things were looking difficult, but they've really rallied. It's been awesome to see this team rally.
Yeah, I feel like it really all started on that homecoming game against Middletown. Caden Ashurst, with the injured Quinn Brown, led the Comets back. Thrilling comeback victory, one that I'll definitely remember, one of my favorite calls of all time. And then from there, it was just a stifling Comets defense all season long. And again, tied for the furthest that the Comets have made it in program history in the regional semifinals. So definitely a season to remember for this Comet team.
Yeah, and a lot of credit to the senior leadership on this team. Kyle Wolflook, the linebacker, one of the captains, as well as Liam McMains, Vaughn Johnson, Quinn Brown. Those are the 4 captains. They've stuck with this team. This team's had its ups and downs. The offense has struggled at times, but really playing some great football late into the season.
2nd and 7 now for Moeller after a 3-yard pickup on the run. Man in motion, low snap, but a handoff up the middle. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Tackle made by number 40. It'll be 3rd down for the Crusaders.
It was Carl Jeffries with the carry there. Third and 7 for the Crusaders. Jocelyn takes the shotgun snap, handoff up the middle, but there is a whistle.
Flag on the play.
Blown, flag on the play, a false start on the Crusaders.
Yeah, and
Flag is against the Crusaders. False start against the Crusaders.
Jocelyn also muffed that snap a little bit, so there was some miscommunication going on with the offensive line and the quarterback there, and false start pushes him back.
So that pushes him back to the 41, 3rd and 12 now. Low snap, and another flag thrown. It looks like it's going to be another false start on the Crusaders.
Another flag on the play. False start against the Crusaders.
Back-to-back false start calls on the Moeller offensive line. And now initially had a 3rd and 7, pretty manageable play. Now 3rd and 17, no longer in 4-down territory. And probably changed the play call up after those 2 penalties.
Jocelyn sends his running back out in motion, and he's just going to take it up the middle himself. Stopped immediately there by Malachi Reed. A 4-yard loss on the play, sets up a 4th and 20.
Quarterback, number 12, Johnson.
So,
quick tackle there from Reed.
4th down for the Crusaders.
And Moeller communicating with their sideline. Offense is staying on the field so far. But I would have to assume this is a punt situation. You're at the 50-yard line, up 35, 4th and 20.
And I think
just going to let the clock run down and
I think
call a
Coach
timeout.
Bathiani's going to call a timeout. With the clock wind all the way down. So timeout called, 2:24.
And Coach Bathiani not happy with his offense. You could hear him all the way up at the top of the stands saying, "Are you kidding me?" 2 straight false start penalties, not what you want. At any time, but especially not in the playoffs. And, in the 4th quarter of these games where the win's already probably secured, but need to be building positive habits for next week. And they played some sloppy football in the fourth quarter.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Stands starting to empty here at Princeton High School, but got to give a shout out to Comet students still in attendance, showing loyalty to their team. Always a cool memory to sing the alma mater after games, and this will be the final time of the season. But what a pleasure we've had calling Comet games in high school. The Mason football program means so much to us. And we'll go more into detail once the game's over, but it's been an amazing 4 years. So Moeller back to punt. After that timeout, clock will start.
4th down for the Crusaders.
Heavy top spin on that punt, and it will roll into the end zone. So the Comets will start at their own 20 again. 2:09 to go in the game.
This is potentially the last offensive drive of the Comet season. So hopefully Quinn Brown can get back out there. We're not sure the severity of his injury earlier in the game. Would love to see the senior get to take his final snaps under center. Quinn Brown, until August, thought he was going to be the starting tight end for this team for a second straight year, but some shakeups at the quarterback position. He ended up having to change positions very quickly, and he learned from the best his brothers Colin and Larson, and led the Comets to a great season.
It'll be Ashton Schaaf at quarterback in the shotgun. Fake toss. Schaaf will take it himself. Picks up 4 yards on the carry. Tackle by Tanner Coe.
Tackle was made by number 9, Cole.
So Comets still alternating quarterback Schaaf in after Ashurst had last drive. And that'll be something to watch next year as well. Who ends up being the starting quarterback for this team. The second straight year with some uncertainty there. But quarterback battle is always fun. Bring out the best in everybody.
2nd and 6 after the quarterback run. This time it'll be a handoff to Jordan. Jordan takes a big hit. Right as he took the handoff, he's able to shake one. Still wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Jordan took a lick, not even a second after taking the handoff, but was able to somehow break free of that tackle, but immediately bent by two more Crusaders. And now under a minute left in this game.
Third and 7. Play clock winding down. As Schaaf rolling to the right. Tries to connect with his man, Colin Billhorn. That one almost picked off by Lincoln Murphy.
Yep, and now setting up 4th and 7. Got to assume that Kastner will leave out the offense here for one last play, try to pick up a first down.
And with that running clock,
might not have time.
Looks like that will do it. Here from Princeton High School, the Moeller Crusaders take down the Mason Comets 38-3 in the regional semifinals. But what a game, or what a season, excuse me, that this Comet team has had. Tied for the farthest they've made in the OHSAA playoffs all the way, or the most games they've won. Made it all the way to the regional semis this year. And last, like you mentioned earlier, Andrew, Comets just undertook that underdog mentality and they rode it through the playoffs. And definitely not the outcome they were looking for tonight, but still got to give a lot of credit to their season.
Yeah, Comets for the second time in school history won 2 playoff games, and then just continue to build momentum. You talked about it earlier. Had a big comeback victory on homecoming, and since then kind of went on a winning streak. We're playing their best football in November, which is what you like to see. The defense excellent against Lebanon and Milford. The fortune runs out here against a great Moeller team next week. Going to be facing off against the Lakota West Firebirds, GMC powerhouse. So we'll have another GMC GCL matchup and that'll certainly be a fun one.
We just want to take a second to give big thanks to all of you for tuning in this season and over the last 4 years as we've been cheering on the Comets up here in the Booth Mason football program. Man, it just means so much to us. Our dad's been a coach for the Comets forever. Ever since we were out of the womb, we were going to Comet games, cheering them on in our onesies, our Mason football onesies, and man, this program has just been so special in calling these games over the past 4 years. I know I'm speaking for both of us to where it truly has been our home and one of our identities in high school, and just sports broadcasting has been just an unbelievable gift to us in our high school career. And I know we've still got the rest of the year to go, but football holds a special place in our heart, especially Mason football.
Absolutely. We love calling all sports, but I think football, I speak for both of us, is probably our favorite, growing up around the game. We've been very fortunate to be in this program that's, unlike anything else we believe in the entire country. We've got some people to thank for that. Ben Howler, our mentor, graduated 2 years ago. I got to call my first playoff game with him. That was his last game, and I'm thinking back on that one, giving his final words, and it's definitely sentimental. We've had a great 4 years with the program, 3 years calling football games, and got to give a special shout out to our advisor, Dale Connor. He's done a great job mentoring us, empowering us, trusting us with this program. And then a shout out to all our crew tonight: Daniel Panetti working behind the scenes, Alyssa Feinblatt providing Twitter coverage, and our entire crew this fall season as the fall season wraps up with this game.
And that is going to do it here from Princeton High School. We appreciate you tuning in for the game, but especially those of you that are still listening in now for our little, sentimental message. But that's going to do it here from Princeton High School, the Moeller Crusaders.